Welcome back. I'm Erica Fernandez, and for this week's Fitness Friday, I'm joined here today by Sarah Morrison. Sarah, I know that everyone's daily diet usually consists of somehow sugar plays a factor. So today we're talking sugar. What's the daily amount of sugar that we should be eating?
Well, thankfully there have been new guidelines just put out because there was no guideline. Like if you looked at a label, it says calories, it says fat, and it gives you your DV, your daily value percentage. Sugar never had that. So new guidelines have come out to give us some regulations or some guidance, and no more than 6 teaspoons of sugar a day for women and no more than 9 teaspoons of sugar a day for men. Okay. So an easy way to figure that out is there's 4 grams of sugar per every teaspoon of sugar. Okay. So on your labels, you're going to see sugars in grams. So then you'll just have to do some quick math, and you can figure out where you're at with your teaspoons.
What are some tips for staying in the recommended amount?
Well, definitely being aware.
Okay.
I mean, I think the majority of people, I know myself included, like I was way over 6 teaspoons of sugar a day. So 6 times 4 is 24 grams of sugar a day. And what we're talking about here is added sugar. Okay. So I actually brought a few examples for us to look at here. And, for example, like your yogurt. A lot of people have yogurt, but what you need to do is check your sugars on your label. This says 12 grams of sugar. Okay. So 12 times 4.
That's way over.
I know, I'm making you do math early in the morning. That's 48 grams of sugar, right?
Right, yes.
So this is more than your recommended amount of added sugar a day.
Right.
So you just need to be aware, like even things like bread. This has 2 grams of added sugar. Right. So low, but is still counting towards that total. Okay. And, jelly, let's go there, 9 grams of sugar. So this can quickly, get to your recommended amount.
Right, and then that will be all that you could eat for sugar that day. So what about sugar and fruit? Because fruit, a lot of people think it's a healthy snack, it's not as bad. But should we be worried about the sugar that there's in fruit that we're consuming a day?
Yeah, good question. It can get confusing. Okay. And I would just start by urging people to just be aware more of processed sugar. Don't worry so much about fruit. Okay. And here's why. Because fruit is natural occurring sugar, and it has fiber mixed in with it. And when your body has sugar and fiber, it processes sugar correctly. Okay. When it eats sugar without fiber, it generally gets stored quickly just as fat. Okay. And so that's why sugar is leading to so many health issues. So, with your fruit, unless you're like seriously training for like something and trying to cut weight and like you're in a competition, then you probably want to pay attention to your fruit. But for most of us, enjoy your fruit. Fruit's great. Pay more attention to like candy, yogurts, like jellies, places where added sugar's in, soda, juice. Right.
Especially with the holiday season and Halloween coming up. I mean, all of those foods that you just mentioned play a big factor.
Yes.
So are there any other resources that people can look to in order to make sure that they're eating the right amount of sugar a day?
There's a lot of information coming out on it now. You could get online. You could go to Google. The American Heart Association is where I did some of my research on it. The World Health Organization has guidelines on their website as well. But I also watched a movie called Fed Up. It's a documentary that's pretty reputable, and it is eye-opening. So when we know better, we do better. Right. And, I mean, the majority of the world is addicted to sugar. And it's something that we're just going to have to gradually change over time. But when you raise your awareness, it helps. And so if you want to start somewhere, go to Netflix. Watch Fed Up. It's free. You can watch it online for free. Just raise your awareness and you'll do better.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here, Sarah. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.